July 2008, Bob Barker went down to the Chicago Tribune to debate with Chicago aldermen about a law that he wanted to enforce that required all pet owners to have their dogs and cats spayed or neutered by 6 months. The aldermen did not think that that was enforceable. It would go something like, if law enforcement found a owner that had not spayed or neutered their dog or cat, they would just get a ticket saying that they needed to fix their dog or cat. If a month passed and they still hadn't spayed and neutered their animal, they would get a $100 fine and another ticket saying that they needed to fix their dog or cat. If another month went by and they still hadn't fixed their dog or cat, the law enforcement would seize the animal and the city would fix the animal, and the owner would only be able to reclaim their pet after they paid off their fines. Certain types of dogs would be exempt from this, of course. I suppose cats too. Like if they were licensed for breeding, show dogs, guard dogs, and service dogs would be exempt because they need to have their testicles for certain behaviors. Because behavior has a lot to do with whether an animal has their testicles or not. I personally think that all animals should be fixed and spayed, but obviously I don't believe that it is enforceable as a law. My mother, whenever we had animals, they were always spayed because my mother didn't want them spraying in the house, because unspayed and neutered animals do spray to mark their territory, and typically only dogs are the ones that bleed when they're in heat, but cats usually don't. But cats act very bizarre. They are very vocal, they meow a lot, they're very loud, they tend to do an army crawl, but their butt is in the air, because that is a way of letting male cats know that they are ready to be mated with. And the reason that cats and dogs mate is only to keep their species alive. That's all they know. That's the whole reason they mate. Cats and dogs should be spayed because it has a lot of health benefits as well. Obviously, males can't get testicular cancer if they don't have any. In females, the rate of mammary and their genital cancer lowers a lot. And it also is proven that 18% of male dogs live longer that are neutered, and 23% of dogs that are spayed rather than unspayed live longer. Their dogs are not as aggressive. They don't roam as much because unneutered dogs roam more because they will go as far as they need to find an animal to mate with. Obviously, they're not going to try and mark their territory. Females won't bleed because they won't have ovaries to do that. It also is good for population control because, like, stray cats and dogs, obviously, if they find another cat or dog, they're going to mate with them. And they are usually put into shelters if they are found by animal control. And grown cats and dogs that are put into shelters don't get adopted as much. But over the past 10 years, the intake rate in shelters has lowered 40%, and euthanasia rates have dropped more than 85% in all shelters. And New York Times' Alicia Parlapiano said that it's not like shelter animals or shelter workers want to kill animals. They all believe that even one death that they have to put an animal down is too much. And it is also very cost effective because, if you have, let's say, an outside dog that is unspayed and they get pregnant, then you have anywhere from 1 to 12 puppies. And I'm not sure if you've ever raised a puppy or a kitten, but one is enough work as it is. I can't imagine a whole entire litter, not to mention how much time that is. It's also very time efficient. So animals should be fixed. Cats and dogs should be spayed and neutered because they're not as aggressive, they won't roam, they also won't mount inanimate objects, you, your friends and family, or other animals unnecessarily. It's healthier because they can't get certain types of cancer, they won't pee or bleed anywhere, and if, the population won't be crazy, there won't be a bunch of strays running around, they won't have to euthanize as many animals in shelters, and they could possibly live longer. So, please spay and neuter your animals.